Hi everyone, this is Michael Abbey with Enterprise Express Tax Service, bringing you some tax updates. As everyone knows, we are fast approaching the deadline. So there's a little difference this year. The usual IRS tax submission deadline is April the 15th. That's when everyone's supposed to have their taxes submitted. If you're submitting it by mail, it has to be postmarked by April 15th. If it's being electronically filed, it has to be filed before midnight on April 15th. Well, there's a difference. This year, the tax deadline for IRS filings, federal filings, is April the 18th. The reason being is that Washington, D.C., every other year has Emancipation Day. Okay. And if that day happens to fall on or around the 15th, what the federal government tends to do, what the IRS tends to do, is to shift the deadline till the following Monday or the following working day, which in this case happens to be April 18th. And so that's why ever so often we'll have a tax deadline that's extended till April 18th. The state of Maryland has extended their deadline till July the 15th. Comptroller Peter Franchot, I guess, decided that he wanted to give Marylanders some kind of a break considering COVID and everything. And so he went ahead, even before the filing season had started, or just about when the filing season started, and decided that Maryland's deadline, tax filing deadline, will be July the 15th. So it sounds a little bit confusing, but it's still the same. Most people will still go ahead and file both returns at the same time. The way tax software is these days is that both the federal and the state returns are typically filed at the same time. Now, there may be a case sometimes where, for instance, if you owe Maryland, you may want to delay making that payment till July the 15th since you have that time frame. So talk about it with your tax preparer or with your CPA and figure out what works best for you. All right. But once again, the deadline for federal filings is April the 18th. If you have not gotten your tax paperwork together, get everything together, please, for the sake of us tax preparers who have to rush. All right. And if for any instance you still think you don't have all your tax paperwork, then what you may want to do is consider an extension. An extension is pretty easy to do. Talk to your tax preparer, tell them on time, and so that they can apply for an extension. The extension is typically 6 months from the deadline. So 6 months from April 18th, you can have a tax extension that gives you 6 months within which to file your tax returns. If you happen to owe taxes, that does not stop the IRS from accruing interest on what you owe. So that's very important. Most people think that when they get an extension, it means there's also an extension on the interest that would accrue on what you owe. Not so. So you probably still want to make a payment arrangement if that's the case, or figure out how you're going to pay that IRS debt. Even if you're getting an extension, you still want to talk to the IRS about how to pay down that debt if you owe them. Okay? All right. So, in summary, April the 18th is the federal tax filing deadline. Okay? If you're mailing it in, it has to be postmarked by April the 18th. If you're having it electronically filed, it has to be e-filed by midnight on April the 18th. If you live in the state of Maryland, Maryland has an extension till July the 15th. If you owe Maryland, right? I always say pay it off if you can, but if you do owe Maryland, then what you want to do, you could decide to hold off on filing your Maryland return until July 15th, and then make your Maryland payment at that time. Once again, this is Michael Abbey with Enterprise Tax Service. It's deadline, so get your paperwork together. Bye.